What the hell are we supposed to use, man? Harsh language?
All right, 3, 2, 1. What's going on, gentlemen?
What up?
How we doing?
Boy.
Not bad.
Yeah, good week, good week. Welcome back, folks. This is episode... What episode is it? 116? 116 of the Harsh Language
Sounds
Podcast.
right.
Hope everybody had a wonderful week. What have you guys been up to? Anything good? Yeah, you guys are chatty tonight. This is a podcast, guys. You got to talk. Have you guys been watching anything? I finally caught up with Silo.
Oh, yeah. I haven't watched the latest episode yet.
The
Nice.
episode 10?
Is it episode 10?
Tonight's the last. Was it air on Mondays or Tuesdays? I forget.
No, that's on Friday nights, Thursday nights.
Oh, really?
It's
Okay, so this
Friday,
week,
like midnight or something.
yeah, this week coming up is the final episode. So you
Yeah,
didn't watch
there's one
last
more.
week's. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Are you caught up, Dusty? Not that we'll talk
Yes.
spoilers, but I thought you were behind like a whole season.
No, Shrinking is what I'm behind.
Right.
on,
Okay, yeah.
And Severance.
Obviously, I won't say anything to spoil for Marvin, but this last week was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
They fucking
This
cracked.
is a good
pretty good.
episode.
They cracked that shit wide open.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm
it's been
curious.
pretty
I started
good.
watching
It's not as good as
Landman this week.
Hang
Oh,
on.
yeah.
What were you saying, Marvin? It's not as good as what?
It's not as good as Severance. After rewatching Severance,
No, I mean,
it's just not even close,
it's-
honestly.
yeah, no, they're different shows for sure. I mean, I like it though. I think I like.
No, I like it too.
I like the mystery of it, and I know I'm gonna like Severance. I've actually saw some of the review embargo, like the review embargo lifted like last week or something.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people who watched like it early are saying it's really good. I think I sent you a link. One person said it's like generational television, which
Mhm.
that's a fucking bold statement because that's saying like it's up there with like Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, like Sopranos,
Right.
like these shows. So we'll see. But I just sent you a link earlier. They're already starting season 3 to work on
Mhm.
production. So
Hope they don't make it go too long because
yeah, that's
you always know what happens there. So
that's a show that it seems like they know what they're doing. From
Yeah, they
Five to
listening to
7
them talk.
Seems like the magic spot.
I just want 5.
seasons.
5. I don't even go beyond 5. Honestly, I'm a
as
little
long
worried.
as I mean, they took time between season 1 and season 2. I mean, when did season 1 air?
Well, is that a
2022. So that's
Yeah.
a good thing.
But is that is that because the writing team is like and the creators behind it are like being responsible about it, or is it because the strike and the this and the that? You know,
When was the strike? I can't remember.
I think it was like right after season 1 ended, wasn't it? I might be wrong.
Oh,
But also, just listening to them talk about the show, it sounds like they don't want to just like do stuff for the sake of it, and they're kind of have the mentality of like, we'll get to it when we get to it.
yeah.
So that's cool. I'm a little worried about Last of Us, but for a similar reason. But
Yeah. It's
Only-
not gonna. Yeah. I don't know.
only because there's a lot of stuff in the second game that they can't do in a single season. We already know that. They've like talked about that. But I hope they just don't decide to milk it. Like I just tell the story and be done with it. And I'm okay with
I don't
them.
think they would milk it. Otherwise, they would have made because this second season is gonna be the second game, right?
Part of the second game. They already said it's
Yeah,
got to
no,
be
they
at
said
least
they
3 seasons. Yeah.
It's going to be 2
Well,
or
I
3
feel like
seasons long. They're going to stretch it out.
if they were milking it, they probably would have made the first game more than 1 season.
Yeah, which that would have been my preference, honestly, because as
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
discussed, I felt the first season was a little bit rushed.
Yep.
But
I
whatever.
bet in hindsight they would have wished to have made it more than 1 season, but I don't know.
Probably. It was probably because of like the unknown, right? It's the first season. They don't know
Was
if
it-
it's gonna be a hit or not. So HBO is probably like, yeah, here's to give us 9 episodes.
Harry Potter.
Yeah.
They split one book into 2 movies. It was one of the first times they really did that. They started.
Oh, really?
Everybody does it now. Yeah.
I mean, if the story calls for it, then that's fine. I'd rather it be longer and good than rushed, if anything, to be honest. I just don't like when, series get milked. That's when they start to go downhill. But
Yeah. Wait, which Harry Potter? Oh, Deathly Hallows.
Yeah, the final.
No, that makes sense. That book was so long.
Oh, you read them? You're a Harry Potter kid?
I read them and I watched all the movies.
Damn.
Love them.
Damn.
Love them.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that Marvin hasn't watched, folks, we had a fucking hot off the presses decision made today. Dusty's pick this month is for Make Marvin Watch, and he chose Happy Gilmore. I'm assuming in celebration of the sequel coming out soon, right?
I figured we're probably going to want to watch the second one, and since I'm pretty sure that Marvin had said he hadn't seen the first one, so I was like, well, we gotta get that one in there, and
right.
Because it could be out in a month or two. We don't know. It says coming soon. I don't think we have an official release date on the second.
I don't remember them giving one. Well, there you have it, folks. Look forward to that. Marvin will be watching Happy Gilmore for the first. I can't believe that's the first time you've seen it. I mean,
there's worse things that I also hadn't seen. So Happy Gilmore shouldn't be like.
You don't strike me as a Adam Sandler guy. I feel like.
I mean, I know I love Adam Sandler, but I just haven't seen that. I mean,
that's the only one.
I've seen Billy Madison. Okay. I've seen.
That's surprising. Happy Gilmore is like the movie that everybody goes to when they talk about him.
Yeah,
Scuba Steve.
Honestly, it's one of my.
What's the other one with when he's the fucking son of Satan?
The devil.
Oh, Little Nicky.
Little Nicky.
I've seen Little Nicky.
That shit's hilarious.
Seen all those.
That was
shit's so funny.
We love Adam Sandler. I was just talking about him to a buddy of mine. I think I can't remember if I talked to you guys about him too. I don't even remember why I brought him up. I was just like, yo, Adam Sandler seems like the coolest fucking guy, like on earth. Did we talk about this?
Yeah, he's probably cool. Is he a Zionist though? That kind of knocks quite a bit of points off. I thought he was.
No,
was that fake news?
No. If he is, you wouldn't know about it because he does not get involved in anything like that. He doesn't.
Ooh, closet Zionist. Those are kind of worse.
I think the only thing people know about him is that he's a registered Republican. But but just registered. That doesn't mean he does anything.
No, he's old Republican.
Yeah.
You know, they used to say like black people were the first Republicans or whatever. He's like that.
Yeah,
he's all right. He's good.
Harriet Tubman was a Republican. But he's just like he just. I had watched him on Rogan a while back, and
he was on Rogan. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was a really good interview, and I'm
sick of Rogan, but go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, the whole world is. This dude's got to go away. But he let he made Rogan immune to his own bullshit. There was no talk of anything conspiracy, fucking politics, vaccine related. It was just all about
doing comedy only.
He was just talking about comedy and exercising. That was it.
Thank God.
Yeah. And Sandler, he just seems like a really just down to earth dude, and I don't know.
He does. He's always playing basketball and shit.
Yeah,
looking homeless.
Anytime you see him in public,
he's in a pickup game somewhere.
Yeah, he's in a full sweatsuit whenever you see him in public. Oh, this is why I was
on basketball shorts too. The old school basketball shorts that are 2 sizes too big.
Yep. That's how Owen used to dress.
I don't know how you play them bitches.
That's how Owen used to dress at the basketball courts. You find Owen every day.
I remember you saying this.
Hell yeah. The big white tees. Yep. No, not the backwards hat. Owen was a backward hat. Owen literally looked like
backwards hat.
He looked like Stan. He just looked like Slim Shady. That. That was his style. But no, it was because of the Golden Globes. They had Sandler do his Shabadoo, his fucking thing, and he did it in the crowd, and he was just whatever. He was cool about it, and that's fine. I just think it just struck me that he never has any controversies. He never gives his fucking opinion on anything political or social or cultural. He's not on social media. He just kind of does his thing, is a family guy. And every so often he puts out a movie that 99% of people are going to shit on, no matter how good it is, because he's just cool to shit on. But they're always just funny, fun movies. And it's just because it's like him getting together with friends to make a fucking movie. And I don't know. I
haven't seen some of his recent movies, like this Spaceman. I didn't know that was a thing.
Spaceman.
I don't know which one you're talking
2024 Spaceman.
Oh, right. The one, it's just him and somebody else, and it's a conversation.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
It's called Spaceman. I don't know.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, 2024.
The last movie I saw of his was
February 2024.
The last I saw of his was I think Murder Mystery 2.
That was 2023.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't see Hustle. I heard Hustle was really good.
Yeah, I didn't see Hustle either. He was a coach in
Hustle
that
was great.
Yeah.
Or no, he's a scout. Okay.
That's like more of like a serious role. But like as far as like Sandler movies, like Murder Mystery 2 was probably the last one I saw of his.
I haven't seen a Sandler movie in a while. I mean, I saw Uncut Gems, but that wasn't really like a Sandler movie.
That's not his movie, nah.
That was really good though.
Very good, yeah. But I don't know. Enough of sucking his dick. I just think he seems like a cool guy. He just never like has anything going on, and he never seemed to get caught up in like the bullshit of Hollywood.
Yeah.
Which like I've been seeing a little bit of lately because of like the LA fires and stuff. And I don't mean to take anybody's experience away from them. I'm sure it's heartbreaking to lose anything in these fires. But when you have the time to like in a panic make a TikTok about it, I kind of lose a little bit of respect for you. And so I don't know what her deal is, but Whitney Cummings, I think, has gone like a little bit crazy. She's always been a little bit batshit, but she's definitely gone like down the fucking right-wing conspiratorial pipeline somehow. Probably because it's profitable.
She's a comedian, right?
Yeah. But in the midst of these fires, she posted a TikTok of her just like bawling and sobbing, talking about how devastating it is to lose her podcasting equipment. And I was just
Here we
like,
go with this podcasting equipment nonsense.
Yeah, I was just
it's
like,
a fucking camera and a mic. Like,
yeah, and she was like, it's so meaningful to me because this is my connection to you guys. And this is just all so heartbreaking. And then now she's been going on and just posting about like, there's a lot of like conspiracies about like that these fires were set by arsonists and like fucking, I don't know, like Venezuelan fucking CIA operatives and stupid crazy shit. So I don't know. I just saw this the other day and I was like, I have a podcast. I wouldn't give a fuck if I lost my shit in a fire. I would just be happy that me and my loved ones were alive. Like, you know what I mean? This is a fucking expensive mic. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, I'd be more upset about the house.
Yeah, right? Like
the fucking mic and camera.
But also, like, you're a millionaire, dude. Like, just shut the fuck up. Like, there are, like, whatever. I kind of just hate celebrities in general, but this is, the celebrities are really celebritying lately with the fires, and I just appreciate that Sandler is like not part of that whole thing. He never seemed to really like change who he is as a person, which I think is cool. It's always respectable because Hollywood will swallow you up, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
well, he was always against the grain, though. I mean, you go back and listen to his old stand-up. Like, it was on CDs, and it was pretty raunchy for the time. It was like Eminem was coming out around the same time, and that was like you don't listen to that shit. That stuff's.
There are a few people who don't really get caught up in the Hollywood bullshit. I think probably comedians are probably more, I would say, immune to it. Because I wouldn't.
Yeah, because comedians just speak about what's funny, and what's funny is what's funny.
Yeah, sometimes they get it. Like I don't think like Chris Rock is Hollywood at all, but he is, but he's not. Like he's super famous.
He's definitely Hollywood,
and he has an in with all of them. But I don't think he has that. He's not like Hollywood himself. I don't think. But
yeah, I guess that means what your definition of Hollywood is. But yeah, he's a celebrity by the.
Yes, of course he's a celebrity. I don't mean like the. All right, Drax. Anyway, you said you watched.
Is back,
yeah, he's back. He took a little time off, but he's back. New year, new Drax. So you said you've been watching Landman. I've been hearing good things about that show.
Yeah, I watched it this week with the lady. It was good. It went in a different direction than we thought, but overall, it's a Taylor Sheridan.
Yeah.
Is it like a comedy?
No, I mean it's got some hilarious stuff in it, but it's
literally Yellowstone about an oil tycoon.
You don't know what Dallas is like? Yeah, it's like a Sons of Anarchy and Yellowstone version of Dallas, basically oil tycoon type stuff.
Yeah,
because it's
How
Taylor
does
Sheridan.
it compare to There Will Be Blood? No, I'm just kidding.
Nothing compares to that, Marvin. Have you seen
I
that?
love that movie. Yeah, it's like
Oh,
top
fuck.
tier fucking. Yeah, I love that movie.
All right, I got to take that off the Make Marvin watch list. Sorry, Jesse, go ahead.
It's good though. I mean, it's a little over the top sometimes. It feels like, it's just some crazy oil accident where somebody dies in every fucking episode.
Oh, it's not on here.
But
I'm surprised that people die and Taylor Sheridan stuff.
yeah.
Only the event.
Only the side characters.
The Duttons, they come on.
Never the main characters.
Nah. So it's good.
But it's good. I recommend it. I don't know if it's his best show. I know some people think it's the best thing on TV, but
people are shit like
I don't know.
raving about it.
I've seen most of his stuff, and it's a good show. Is his best work? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I've had like 4 or 5 different people be like, "You got to watch Landman. Have you watched Landman? Have you watched Landman?"
Oh wow.
So
Normies,
I like Lioness better.
That's crazy.
I think, to be honest, but
I still haven't watched.
They're both
either.
good.
What'd you say about
Recommend them
Normies,
both.
Marvin?
Normies love his shit.
I mean, I guess I'm a normie. He makes good stuff. I mean, I've loved his movies since long before Yellowstone came out. So, I mean,
He's a good writer.
He is a good writer. I think he is a very good writer. I think he is getting a little bit long in the tooth at this point in time, but it's probably because we're just like bombarded with him, we've
been getting a lot of Taylor Sheridan, and it just means we're getting like the Sheridan versus fatigue is starting to set in now.
A little bit. Yeah. So I caught up on Silo this week. It's very good. Excited about it. I finished the final season of What We Do in the Shadows. I was letting that build up so I could just binge it. So that show came to an end. Sixth season.
First season, I think.
Yeah, it's such a funny show. It like remained consistently really good and funny, and it went out pretty good. Like they didn't do any like major finale. It's a comedy, so it's just like it was just kind of like a farewell. So that was good. Glad that existed. And then I was gonna start Goosebumps this week, but I didn't get a chance to do it yet. But I'm excited to watch that second season. Well, I wouldn't say excited. I'm interested. Is more accurate.
I have been watching The Bear.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah, I'm almost done with the 3rd season.
You said you're not feeling.
I think it's already confirmed for a 4th season, maybe, right?
Yes.
Yeah. No, that show's great. I don't know what people are talking about. There's no fall off.
Yeah, I mean, it's an award-winning show. People are really just talking about whether or not it's a comedy or a drama.
Well, Dan and I were talking about people saying how it was falling off in the 3rd season.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
I don't think...
But where are you still early in, or are you caught up?
I'm like halfway through, maybe episode 6 or something.
Okay.
I'm on episode 7. So yeah, I'm almost done with 4. I'm halfway through episode 7 or something like that. I need to.
Which season?
Season 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I don't think it's falling off at all. I mean, they just it switched a little bit without spoiling too much. It just takes a shift. People just probably didn't like the shift that happened, which was in season 2-ish. I want to say.
Yeah, they pick a different direction or a different gear.
Yeah,
kind of.
But I think it's great still. It's awesome.
Yeah. Good
And
show.
that one guest episode that was like a flashback had so many good cameos in it, or whatever guest star appearances.
Mhm.
There was dude, oh my God, I can't even think of it. So many people. Whatever. Yeah, I love that show.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I got to get around to that too. Oh man, my list is just building and building and building and building. Never seems to end. But that's okay, because then there come the times where like you have nothing to fucking watch,
Yeah.
And so you got to have stuff on the back burner. Like I still got to watch. I still have to watch like the Lord of the Rings show, which will definitely be like tepid, but I'm tepid on it.
Rings of Power.
Yeah, Rings of Power. I have to watch it eventually, but I've heard like such mixed things about it. Some people are like, you'll love it. Some people are like, you'll fucking hate it. So I'm just like, I I guess this is when I have to just make my own choice or my own decision and watch it. But yeah.
I did watch another movie actually with C.
What was it?
Did we didn't cover this. God, now I can't think of the name of it. I think we were thinking about covering it. It's with the guy from what has he been on? He's been in a lot of shit. James McAvoy. What's the name of that recent movie that he was in?
Oh, the one that me and Dusty watched, the original. You weren't here for that one. I think you were in the middle of moving.
Speak No Evil.
Speak No Evil. Yeah, we were supposed to watch. We did. Wait, we watched Speak No Evil. Did we record about it? I don't think we recorded about it. Can't remember. I think we were supposed to record about it. We were supposed to record about it, but we canceled it.
We did Smile. No, we didn't do Speak No Evil. We did.
Speak No Evil was way before. We watched the original before this one came out, and we just
we did talk. Didn't we? We talked about it.
I don't see it on the channel.
No, we were gonna talk about it, and we canceled the episode. I think we gave our we remember we were gonna then combine both the new and the old one and compare them instead.
Oh right.
Yeah. I think for some reason we just didn't record. I don't remember. I think you were moving or something. I don't remember. Maybe I canceled. I can't remember. But
oh yeah, that was one of the weeks that got canceled. Yeah.
Yeah, but Speak No Evil, I was interested in watching it, and then I watched the original one, and then I was kind of like, now I'm no longer interested in really watching it. And the original one's like, it's a good movie. It's just like it was like, I don't know, it was like predicated on like idiocracy. It was just a stupid premise, in my opinion, of like,
worst father ever.
Here's why you don't trust strangers. It's like, no shit. Like, I would have never. That's the one thing Dusty and I did talk about, because we had like briefly brought it up on the follow-up podcast episode where we were like, oh, so briefly, what'd you think of that? And it was just us saying like,
when did the original come out?
I don't even remember. It's like a Danish movie or something. Or I just like wouldn't even be in that position.
Yeah, and the director shit on the ending of the end of the new movie. Yeah, I could have swore we did talk about this.
We talked about it briefly.
We reviewed it. We definitely talked about it.
Yeah.
Because at least that was in the news. Yeah, because there was an Americanized ending of the second one, or the new one, which was...
Yeah, I don't know.
1966.
No.
No, that's a different. Album.
That's a different one.
It's some kind of album or something. Oh, 2022 Danish Dutch.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
it was good. Nick had wanted me to watch it for a long time. He kept being like, "Yo, did you watch that yet? Did you watch that yet? Did you watch that yet?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm getting to it. Relax." And it was good. It's just I don't know what the differences are in the American one. I'm sure they changed some shit up, but just the whole plot is just predicated on something that I was raised to like never do. So like I just wouldn't be in that position. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, okay. So I don't know. Spoiler alert.
Fuck spoilers. Who cares? Marvin watched
in the original one. The couple just succumb to all the instructions, and they're told to walk down into a field.
Yeah.
And they're stoned to death.
They don't put up any fight whatsoever.
They just get naked and walk down into a field of dirt and get stoned to death. And the kid goes to live with the crazy couple. And in the American version, they kind of fight back and are like, you know what? Fuck you. We're not gonna go down without a fight.
Right.
And that's where like the director got pissed off. He's like, nah, it was supposed to be dark.
That's the whole point of the movie is like
helpless and hopeless and blah, blah, blah. But
the whole point of the story is like just fucking crippling weakness, really. It's just like of what it is.
Yes.
It's like being just an infernal pussy. And
fucking put your foot down already is basically like it's infuriating the whole movie.
Yeah. But again, predicated on the simple fact of like, hey, you want to come stay at my home? I'm a stranger you just met on vacation. And it's like, no, I don't fucking know you. Like, what are you talking about? It's just so bizarre. Anyway. Oh, yeah. So uneventful week, really. We got fucking Severance coming in a couple days. Just a few days away now, Marvin. You ready?
I'm ready. I told you I rewatched it with C recently.
I know. I might have
to real quick.
Oh, you didn't even watch, right? The first season?
Correct.
Oh, yeah, you got to get on.
I'll have it watched before. I'll have it watched by the time we talk about episode 1.
Dusty will put his watch and shoes on.
Yeah.
He'll get it done.
Pull an all-nighter one night and just get it done.
There you go. Yeah, I've been hearing good things about whatchamacallit too, that movie Wicked, which I'm probably never gonna watch, but it's been some.
Is it a musical?
It is, yeah. It's based on a musical, like actual music, like live musical.
You know that girl she was from that movie Bad Times of the El Royale. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like her. She also played Holly Gibney, a very famous Stephen King character, his favorite character, in fact, that he's ever written, in the HBO adaptation of his book, The Outsider, which is very good if you guys haven't watched it. It's one season. Might be the best Stephen King adaptation that's ever been made, quite honestly.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really fucking good. That's a bold statement, but and I don't count The Shining because Stephen King famously hates The Shining. Everybody knows The Shining's a great movie. It's just not a true adaptation.
Yeah.
Misery is probably the greatest adaptation.
That's true.
Film.
You're right. Nope, you're right.
But,
Misery's very good. Misery's
what was the one where? No. He's got so many. I was thinking of shows, not films, but yeah, that's probably like as far as I don't know.
But yeah, she was in The Outsider. Holly is a character of his who appears like in numerous different books. She's a private investigator, but she has like some sort of like psychic abilities, kind of. She's a very cool character, and she played her very, very well.
This was a show?
Yeah, it was a single one-off season on HBO.
Yeah, I saw this. It was good.
Did you?
I think I saw this. Was this about the
Shapeshifter?
Yeah, I saw this.
Yeah, that shit is fucking good.
Really good, yeah.
My boy Jason Bateman's in that. A lot of good people. Ben Mendelsohn. It's a really good cast.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yep.
Yeah. So what do we got in this week's news, Dusty? Anything good?
We got a couple things. We got the next Superman reveal.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We got some information. So if you're curious, obviously it was going to be February 9th if you didn't know. And if you don't know what's on that day, that's okay. That's when the Super Bowl is. But Warner Brothers Animal Planet is having their annual Puppy Bowl at the same day. I think it's earlier in the day. But WB announced that audiences catch a special sneak peek of Superman with the Puppy Bowl before its theatrical release on July 11, 2025. During the game, writer and director James Gunn will deliver a special message with his dog Ozu, who serves as the inspiration for the character Krypto in DC Studios Superman.
God,
so yeah, if you like dogs, and you want to tune in and get the sneak peek live, you can watch the Puppy Bowl. If not, you'll probably see some trailers and clips on YouTube shortly thereafter.
This motherfucker's gonna kill Krypto.
You think so?
I'm so nervous about it, dude.
Oh, that would be rough.
I mean,
Krypto's gonna sacrifice himself for
Superman? I think he might.
Superman?
Yeah, I think he might. Oh man,
that's tough.
Nobody's safe.
I mean, listen,
Man of Steel's best friend.
Listen, all I know is this. Me and Ed, shout out to Ed, we've been talking about this quite a bit because he said he's on the same wavelength as I am. He's like, oh man, fucking gun and animals. Whoo, fuck. It's just.
I mean, Guardians 4 or what was it?
3.
3 or 4?
3. Yeah, no, yeah, it's fucking. That movie was debilitating. Like, I still haven't gotten over it. But that was a specific story. I just think from the things that I've heard them talk about with Superman, like it's very much about his. Like, it's him juggling his Kryptonian heritage and his Earth heritage, and like, Krypto is one of his last links to his homeworld. Like,
yep.
So, you know, obviously we're getting Supergirl. So Kara, she's in the universe. In fact, she might even be in the movie. Some people are speculating that you see her reflection in the trailer, in the robot Helix that he's crying over in the Fortress of Solitude. But like, I just could see it happening. Like, I could see him being like, oh yeah, Krypto sacrifices himself. But Ed made a good point. He made me feel better. He's like, bro, Crypto is fucking just as powerful as Superman. Like, nothing can kill him easily. So maybe we'll be good. And also, he didn't kill off fucking Cosmo in Guardians. She just was a good girl. She just became a good dog. So that's great. Maybe Crypto's safe. We'll see. I'm nervous. I'm real nervous because I won't. That's not something I'll recover from. I'll tell you right now. You guys won't see me again. But that's cool. So it's definitely not another trailer. It's just got to be like that sounded darker than I intended it. I didn't mean I was gonna fucking end it all or anything, but like going to hiding.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, this Superman reveal, I don't know. It's definitely not going to be like a trailer. It might just be like a little Crypto fucking vignette or something.
Yeah.
That's cool. Oh, hot off the press is Marvin sent us something in Discord. What are we getting? A new Final Destination movie? May 16th. Damn.
Is it the final one or is
the final destination? Who's making
go on forever?
These are like the Saw movies. There's like 12 of them, I feel like now. I mean, I remember the first one coming out and it was pretty good.
The first one's really good.
More.
I love the first one.
And then it just got like tiresome because the same old stuff.
Too, right?
Yeah.
Honest to God, don't remember any of the other ones other than the first one.
Because two was good because they tried to explain it a little bit and how to live through some of it. Because the first one, they didn't really. It was just like everybody was dying.
2 also had some of the gnarly stuff like the highway scene with the log truck.
And the logging truck, yeah.
I believe 2 had the fucking
the
glass. It was like they were making like a glass skyscraper or something, and the glass like crushed someone. And then they had the one like super anxiety-inducing scene, I think, where the chick was in the dentist's office and the thing fell in her mouth.
I do remember that actually, yeah.
And that shit was like freaking me out. I remember watching it.
Oh,
but that's some good stuff.
Yeah. So John Watts is credited as a writer on this movie.
Usually the original writer of the story gets credit on all subsequent films, even if they like.
Did he write the first Final Destination? No.
Oh, okay.
No. John Watts being the director of the Spider-Man trilogy for Marvel.
Right.
So I don't know.
Interesting.
I mean, he's a good writer. So, I mean, he has a movie Cop Car that he did before the Spider-Man movies. That's fucking great. I don't know. Well, that's interesting. And Tony Todd is in this apparently. So this might be his last role before he passed away.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe this will actually be good. Probably not, but whatever. Probably not. It's just what it is. Nothing's really good anymore. We're living in a time of just really, really bad time for media and art in general, honestly.
Right.
But all right, what else we got in the news?
All right. Well, speaking of passed away, T'Challa.
Yeah.
Chadwick Boseman, Marvel is considering, according to Jeff Snyder's claims, they're going to recast the character for their one or both Avengers movies in a variant role of some sort, obviously. Apparently, they offered the role to somebody last year.
I heard that.
But they turned it down because they didn't want to step on Boseman's shoes. But it does look like they're considering. I mean, we already talked about I still believe they need to reboot and bring back some of the main characters. And I mean, considering they're doing it for Boseman or at least leaning that way, it means we'll get a reboot eventually.
This is actually interesting because obviously Marvel is in some, I wouldn't say emergency mode, but they're definitely trying to
they're a little they're in soul searching mode. They're trying to figure out
they're trying to figure out the direction, seeing what's what. And again, we've discussed this ad nauseum at this point. Obviously, Feige was stretched a little thin. I think they put a lot of eggs in their basket with the multiverse saga that audiences weren't really interested in because it was confusing to general audiences who weren't trained by comic books, and comic book fans don't even really like multiverse shit. I am included in that. And then that happened, obviously the big bad villain didn't really land the way they wanted him to. Then the actor playing him got into some fucking legal issues. So like, there's a lot of factors. I don't necessarily agree with you still that they have to like reboot the whole shit. I get your perspective on it. And you know,
like
but-
we'll never see a true Avengers versus X-Men because
Yeah.
all the main Avengers characters are dead.
but now, but now we're starting to hear that all these guys are coming back. Chris Evans
Yeah.
recently announced for Doomsday.
Yeah,
Obviously.
but that's we're gonna see everybody. Like
No,
that's
I
just
know.
to say goodbye.
Yeah.
Like we talked about that also, I think.
No, we said goodbye already. This is like a stunt. I mean, listen, regardless of, they could be making bajillions of dollars every movie, they were still going to bring back all these old guys for Secret Wars. That's just the story that tells.
Yeah.
So there was always going to be that. But this seems different, these castings where it's like Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom. Like, it's just all very like emergency, like fucking patchwork. Like the ship is leaking. We're going down. Like, we got to patch it up real quick. Anybody
Going
got
down
bubble gum?
fast.
Yeah. And then, Chris
Yeah.
Evans. This is interesting, though, because this doesn't feel like that. Now, when he passed away, obviously, and Black Panther 2 came out, I think you and Ed and like a couple of people were like, they should probably recast T'Challa because he's a very important character, like, especially going forward. Some other people were like, nah, it's disrespectful to Chadwick Boseman, blah, blah, blah. And I totally understand that. But like, so can nobody ever play back Black Panther again for the rest of time? Like that's, is
Right.
that like, is there a limit on how long we don't recast? Like it's a little bit, I understand
Nah,
why.
Just get somebody in there.
Yeah, you don't recast right
let's just
away.
do it, dude.
And I get Chadwick Boseman was like a great person overall, and like, you know, but like, what, are we just gonna never recast the character?
Yeah,
And that's a little bit silly. And also, this is another interesting thing. And I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but like, and again, we don't really talk politics too much on here, but I don't know if we could avoid it with this particular topic because I think there's something to it. Since the God Emperor got reelected a couple of months ago, all these companies are like jumping ship on the woke like stuff that they were doing. And like, you know, we've talked about wokeness a lot, and it's largely like stupid when people talk about it because it's like it became like a blanket term for just shit that they don't like. Woke, DEI, fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
But there is certainly something to it where these companies were like, you know, gender swapping and race swapping and because it's like the lowest common denominator way in their mind to like make a buck. Like, remember when Pepsi made that commercial about like ending racism during like the Black Lives Matter protests and stuff? Like it's got like that energy. Like obviously corporations are going to try to capitalize on social and political and cultural movements, and Disney has been a little bit guilty of that. And instead of recasting T'Challa, I think they were like, well, we'll just have Shuri become the new Black Panther and like carry the franchise. Right. And that was never going to work. Like Shuri's a cool character and that's fine for me. I don't care because I'm not a fucking psychopath, but that was never going to really work for the long-term longevity of the franchise. But not just with like a lot of these companies I'm noticing are starting to like completely shift gears. Like companies that had like pronouns in their bios on fucking Twitter are like taking them down. Like it's weird. Everybody's just like, oh, Trump's back, so fuck it.
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's still going. You still see the extremes of it. Like our boy Bo DeMaio, who did the X-Men 97 stuff before he got canned for weird like TikTok messages to inappropriate people. He came out the other day and said something like, stop casting. He said, what was his complaint? Stop casting white comic book villains with black people because it's not a good look.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. Like, obviously, I'm not saying like people shouldn't have I'm not saying that we should move away from all these things that some of which have been like socially progressive in terms of like actual progress as a society. I do believe those things are progress in some regards. I just think it's funny that a lot of these corporations are like veering off in the other direction now, where they're like, oh, okay, so
Yeah, I mean, because they see the ridiculous of it. It's like the Bo DeMille. Like, it's okay if you want to race swap heroes from white to black, but don't race swap villains from white to black. That's just ridiculous. And that makes black people look bad. You can't make them be the villain. Keep the white people's the villain.
yeah, no,
And that's how
agree.
ridiculous it's gotten. And so I feel like some of these companies are like, okay, we're not going to do that anymore. We're washing our hands of it. Let's just go back to making good movies, hopefully. But I don't know. It's
hopefully we'll see. It's an interesting thing. But all in all, back to the main point of this news story. We should be recasting T'Challa. He's a huge character. Like, you don't. It's not going to be disrespectful to Chadwick Boseman if you recast the character. I just don't think it would be personally.
Nah, they should just do it.
He got his.
Also, I think
movie,
one thing that's gonna help, maybe that's already helping Marvel, is actually Marvel Rivals. Surprisingly, it's a huge player base. It's really popping off. And there's I've actually been playing a little bit, and there's characters that I don't know much about. I'm like, I kind of want to know a little bit more about this character now.
There you go.
Like Psylocke and Magic and these sorts of characters. So, and they just introduced, they introduced Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman.
Reed Richards and Sue Storm. Yep.
2 characters.
Her alt skin is fucking crazy though. But go ahead.
I haven't seen it.
Well, some of the character drawings people have problems with, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is a good thing to do to help bring people back.
Absolutely.
To get interested in Marvel stuff.
Well, the MCU movies out of the gate did exactly that. It got people interested in comic books.
Yeah.
That never were before, which is what I mean, you know, Kevin Smith talks about it a lot of like, he's like, man, all of a sudden the shit that made me a fucking geek and a weirdo when I was younger is like the popular thing. He's like, I never thought I would see this. Like, he's like, I'm fucking, comic book fans have been eating good for like over a decade now.
Yeah, but you get to that point though, it's gotten so big that it's like the video game industry. Like, video games were back in the day, it was an alt thing to do, and now it's $1 billion mainstream industry.
Yeah.
And all we get is quote unquote AAA titles that are shit because people are dumping pay to play games down our throat. And I feel like we're kind of getting close to that with comic book movies.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the simple answer to that is that capitalism is destroying everything. Like every aspect of life on Earth.
We lost. He's back.
Yep, Dusty, you're having some internet issues, it seems.
I think it's a good segue. I saw something you had posted earlier as far as budgets and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I'm
that
gonna
A24 thing.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that. Wait for Dusty to recover. Hello?
Oh.
Here.
No, you're cutting in and out. I'm losing you.
He's got red bars.
He's got red bars. It's over. He's got red. We got red
Aliens
bars,
got 'em.
people. We got red bars.
Good.
Nope,
He's back.
we're orange. We're yellow. We're coming back, baby. Let's go. He's green, light green.
He's green.
He's like, he's green. Yep. Fuck.
He's red.
No,
Can't hear you. No.
it's over for you. He's green. He's green. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, never seen that shit before. Oh. Orange,
My
yellow,
screen is gone, but I see him on your screen.
green.
Oh, he's back.
Oh yeah, we're back up.
He's back,
2.5
baby.
megabits.
Let's go.
He's running speed tests real time.
No, I'm getting the metrics on.
He's back.
video.
Oh, the little top right.
We're
thing,
full green, people. We are back.
Okay.
Woo! Let's go. Good job,
All right.
everyone.
Yeah.
I heard
Yeah,
most
we
of
made
what
it.
you said. You just cut out when I started to respond to you. What I was saying is that it's just capitalism is ruining everything, every aspect of life on Earth. I don't think that could be argued. We are literally living in late stage
Certainly can be
capitalism.
argued.
I don't think you can.
Yeah, absolutely can be argued.
Really? Because, well, go ahead. Have a go at
What
it.
do you mean? The exchange, the free exchange of goods between two people is ruining society.
The free
Like
exchange
the
of
ability
goods
for
between
me
two
to come
people.
and build you a house and you pay for that house is ruining society.
No, that doesn't exist
Or
anymore.
all the regulation and the legislation that creates
No, that existed 200 years ago.
bureaucracy in between.
That existed 200 years ago when your defunct ideology first came into being, but it is no longer the case because 3 billionaires own literally everything on Earth. They are now
Why is that? That's not because of free market capitalism. That's because of regulation and legislation.
Yeah, sure.
That's government interference.
Yeah. So anyhow, well, they are the government now. So what about their government interference?
Yeah. We allowed businesses to buy politicians. You and me agree that money in politics is the problem.
Oh, 100%. But the problem is that corporations have like taken over the arts in general. And so like we saw it happen with music and how streaming like slowly destroyed
to a degree,
like the music industry. We now see it.
There's still good artists, creators out
I'm not
there,
saying
though,
there are bad creators. They just get swallowed up by the machine. Like movies is a great example of that. Like the MCU started and it completely like fucked every corporate person's brain up 6 ways from Sunday, because if you think of it, there are no blockbusters anymore that isn't a comic book movie. And there are, but they're like very few and far between. And when they do come out, they're usually terrible, which is why everybody got so hyped about the Top Gun sequels, because it was like, oh my God, how refreshing. This is like a blockbuster that's not a comic book movie and it's a sequel and it's fucking good. Holy shit, this is unheard of.
Yeah.
But then you get movies like Red One that came out and it's like, what is this fucking algorithmic fucking piece of shit that everybody like what is this? And so like, but now it's like even hurting like the comic book movies, because it's like, it's just everything that's being produced in every form of media, it seems, is the lowest common denominator thing, just min-maxing profit versus effort. That's why AAA games are terrible. Like they're just such low effort pieces of junk. They like unfinished literal horseshit games that they're like, yeah, don't worry, we know the game runs at 10 FPS, but we'll patch it in like 2 years. It's like, what are we and you're charging me $70. So like, you know, we see it in film too. It's just it just is what it is.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean there's only one movie in the
and
top
supporting
10.
it.
No, you're right.
There's only one movie in the top 10 last year, worldwide box office. It's an actual comic book movie, but the rest of them are sequels to huge franchises that the corporations are milking for money.
When movies come around that are like, you know, I'm not, this isn't a problem of creatives. This is an industry problem when executives in suits and ties are making decisions. We see it with Warner Brothers. Like, again, we've said, you know, Zack Snyder, awful filmmaker, but, you know, a lot of the DCEU, a lot of it was like Warner Brothers interference. We're now seeing it with Marvel. Like a lot of it is, it's just a trend of like mediocrity, you know, and it's just not exclusive to movies. And it's kind of, it's starting to become a little bit overwhelming, honestly, and like taxing. It's like, I'm tired of it.
Yeah. When you're doing something for greed, it's generally going to be a bad product. With that, we also agree.
We just talked about it with Gladiator. I just edited our Gladiator video. If you guys want to
oh my God,
check out our thoughts on Gladiator 2, you get up on YouTube, you go check that out. That movie was fucking an abomination. Did you end up watching it, Marvin?
I called it a dumpster fire when we heard about it, though. So,
oh my God, it was so fucking bad, bro.
Yeah.
And like, and this is what I'm talking about. It's like, it's just whatever. I can't rant about it anymore. It's just sad. We're living in a really sad time in terms of like art in general, and it's not because of the artists. It's because of the people that hand out the money. So, whatever. Maybe we're seeing a shift back to something, because this is why you sparked me to say this. Like maybe there'll be a turnaround and like we'll start getting good movies again. But I don't know. I think we're kind of fucked. But
we'll still get good movies. We always will.
I don't even think.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Mark.
I think they're chasing the dragon. I don't think they're trying to get the $1 billion again, but like you just gotta try to aim for that like every 5 years or something. Like it's gonna be hard to get that every year.
Hey, listen, I'm not saying.
I think what they miss is that good storytelling brings in an audience, and that brings in money. And if you can do that, which they did the first time with the first 3 phases of the MCU, but they're trying to chase an algorithm that made that successful, and that's what made that successful was good fucking storytelling.
The problem is that they wanted to turn profit into an algorithm. That's what it really is, and that's where the problem comes in. Is because it's like, okay, how do we automate? And I don't mean automate like literally automate. Well, in some cases,
but
yes,
repeat
but like,
over and over to continue to make money. Yes, the greed factor came in
with like the least possible effort necessary. It's why they bring in, you know,
fuck showrunners, fuck show Bibles, fuck all that shit. Just fucking start making content, guys.
Yep, exactly.
Content.
It's the content.
Treating it like content.
That's exactly it. Yeah, 100%.
Because they got to put stuff on streaming. I don't know what the fuck happened with this Red One movie where they thought this would be a hit, but
it did well.
I haven't seen it, but I did hear it was bad.
The fact that this did well, I don't understand.
It did well.
There's also like we also see it with horror movies too. Like we talk about, it's literally everything. It's just every aspect of life on Earth is fucked. I was laughing because when I was editing the Gladiator video, I cut in a trailer for like B-roll footage of the movie, and like part of the trailer it says it's like I can't remember verbatim, but it's like the best movie of the year, and it's like what? Like what do you? These aren't even real quotes anymore. You're just like throwing shit in there. Nobody said that. Who the fuck said that?
They feel like they just pull random Twitter quotes off, and they don't even like give. It's not even critics they're quoting. They're like, this random Twitter user SF7962X31 said it's the best movie they've ever seen, and they're like, yeah.
Like, we always knew this was a thing. Like the United States has always been a giant corporation under the guise of a democracy, but now we're starting to. But like. There were times where like certain industries and facets of life were like removed from it a little bit, but it's starting to fucking envelop everything, and it's overwhelming. That's all I wanted to say. But
you said Red One. You said it did well, but I mean, did it?
I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
185 worldwide as of
million, obviously.
Yeah, million. But they had a budget of 250.
Yeah, no, that's a loss. That is a loss where I come from.
And the opening was like not great. 32 million open.
Like I guess what I'm saying is like movies these days are like barely movies. They like all look.
Yeah.
They're
following the format, cookie cutter bullshit.
The coloration is terrible. They're edited terrible. The cinematography is terrible because they're not hiring. There's no artist. There's no artistry in it anymore. Rarely artistry. I mean, the movie we watched last week, Real Pain, like you liked it, but not like you weren't blown away by it. But you see, it was a crafted film. Like it was an art. It was a piece of art. It's not fucking Red One, which is like whatever. Even the movie we're watching today, like
where are they getting the money to fund this shit?
That it's like it's literal money laundering. Like you can't convince me otherwise.
Like, because it's like they're not making enough back to where it's like, okay, yeah, let's make another one of these.
They're taking,
but they're
losses.
still making another one. Like
they're
every
taking
year
losses
we're getting this
left
trash.
and right. And
it's insane.
And Dusty says like, all you have to, the magic formula is just craft good stories and people will come see them and you'll actually make money. So it doesn't make any sense of why they're just like, fuck it. We'll just lose millions and millions and millions of dollars. It's gotta be like a fucking laundering thing. It just,
well, because when they know they've got a good story on their hands, they can sink their hooks into the audience and keep them coming. It's like Despicable Me 4 and Minions movies. Like they could make 30 of those fucking movies and people will still go watch them. Even if it's like, subliminally telling your child that communism is good for the world. You know what I'm saying? It's like, people still go watch that shit.
The problem, dude, The Rock made reportedly $50 million for Red One.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
1/5 of the budget was The Rock.
I'm sure. I mean, look at the fucking show, Secret Invasion.
Well, that's
I bet you most of that budget went to fucking Samuel L. Jackson, and then they didn't have enough to fucking CGI a background into the fucking road action scene where they kidnapped the president. It was just a fog, so they didn't have to fucking put in a background. Like what? This movie fucking.
That's why some of these movies are so expensive, and why A24 can get away with making how many movies for the same price of one?
Well, this is a good segue, as Marvin said when you were cutting out. I sent this to you guys, I think a day or two ago. But A24, they in 2024 they released 16 movies Okay,
same
for the same
price.
budget as
Yeah.
Red One. Like
Dude, Civil War.
And these are some good
shits on,
movies.
but it's like not even close.
Civil War is one of the best movies of the year. Love Lies Bleeding was amazing.
Oh, I still haven't seen that one. I know you guys said it was good though.
We're watching Heretic today. I've heard Brutalist was amazing. It's probably going to win Best Picture. Like, these are all, every one of these, despite me having not seen them or what I might think of them if I did see them, they are all
Right.
objectively good movies.
Yeah.
And so I don't know the long
15 mil for Chris Evans.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
Are they just banking on these people like making people show up? Like
Yes, names.
I
make
think
people
so.
show
just
up.
The Rock? Like
This is a dying
really-
of the summer blockbuster movie where you could put Arnold Schwarzenegger's name on a movie and people would show up in droves to watch the blockbuster.
yeah, that's
action
different though.
summer
That's
flick.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
We're in a different world. Yeah, that's
No,
the
but-
Rock
they're
ain't
on
no
an old
fucking Arnold
algorithm that
Schwarzenegger.
they can't get off of yet.
Blockbusters used to be a thing. Like, they were good. Even they were like big budget summer action movies. Like, that was a blockbuster, and they were always good.
It was rare to have one with 6 to 12 people's names in it. I mean, The Expendables was one. Everybody's like, holy shit, there's like 15 people in this movie.
And the first
Yeah.
Expendables, before it became a meme, was like a celebration of like the old school action heroes. And like,
Yep.
you know, and now every action movie that comes out is a comic book movie or a comic book adjacent movie or something like that because it broke everybody's brains. Next month, Marvin, I've already picked your Make Marvin Watch. I ain't going to announce it yet, but you're going to be watching a blockbuster. Like, it's just different.
It's different.
And also, I lost my train of thought. What was I going to say?
Well, I was gonna say The Rock ain't no fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger for one.
Well,
to me, he's not at least.
Well, this brings me to my next point. I was talking to my buddy George about it, and he brought this up to me, and I don't fully agree with him because he was kind of bringing it up from like a Jordan Peterson, like fucking masculinity perspective. But he was saying that there are no leading men in Hollywood anymore, and he's right. Like leading
really?
men, like masculine, and I'm not using masculine in the sense that like fucking weirdos use it on the right, but
Like buff guys.
no, just like just leading men, like men that fucking take charge. Like they're not like they're like tough guys, I guess. You know what I mean?
Tough guys. Yeah.
Like name an actor who's like in the current generation of young actors who you could see being like that, like in Predator, in like Arnold Schwarzenegger's role in Predator. There's not one, not a single person.
It's tough.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's
Maybe that
hard
guy
to
you
pick.
fucking like, the big fucking.
Oh,
meathead
him,
motherfucker.
maybe, but even him, he's a little bit weird because he's a Christian.
It's hard to pick those guys out. Who could have said that Chris Pratt would have
This is
got ripped and been playing, in action movies?
I
Guardians of
understand,
the
but
Galaxy and
I don't-
whatnot,
Chris
after
Pratt.
getting a start as a comedian in Parks and Recreation.
It's
you know
not
what
just
I'm
about
saying?
it's not just about action. It's like just the leading man in Hollywood was like a thing. It was like a symbol. Go way back. You got like Humphrey Bogart and like those types of guys that like commanded the screen. I don't think that it really exists anymore. And that's kind of the point.
He's
My
run out
buddy.
of Hollywood.
That's kind of the point.
Create the MCU now.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about all that, but yeah. But there's something to it. I don't know. Hollywood's just changed. The industry has changed, and I think good things are just few and far between. But yeah.
Yeah.
So they should recast T'Challa.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Well, what else you got in the news, Dusty? I need hand cream.
Well, we got George Miller. He could be directing World War Hulk. This was a leak that came from a Production Weekly listing about needing to, do production for the movie. But he could possibly even do Thor 5. Apparently, he's expressed interest
Saw
to
that.
doing Thor 5. I guess he was introduced to Feige via Hemsworth when him and Hemsworth worked together on Furiosa.
Bless you, Marvin.
And so, yeah, he's getting up there now. So I don't know how I feel about it. He's like almost 80, isn't he? George Miller? He's got to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, listen,
up there in
fucking
age, but-
your boy Ridley Scott's fucking 87, and he's still pumping out classics.
Yeah, well, he was making bangers in the 80s and 90s. He hasn't made a whole lot that's been good that I know of since then. But
Well, George Miller. I mean, listen, it's interesting, but I think this is where Marvel needs to get back to is like interesting. Like James Gunn was interesting.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted James Gunn to make a fucking Marvel movie. I was like, what are you kidding me? This guy's like a fucking cartoon character, and he made a movie literally about cartoon characters. Essentially, like it's a comedy. It's like whimsical. And it became arguably the best trilogy in the franchise. So like that's when like Marvel was at its best, is when they were letting people come in. Like they got their footing down initially in the first like run of movies. They went with like the easy people, the Joss Whedons and like Favreau and like those guys. And then they kind of like branched out and they started doing experimental stuff, and it was great. So, you know, I feel like they should just go back to that. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
79, that's nothing. Jimmy Carter was 100 years old. You know what I'm saying? He just died.
Yep, that's true.
Still got 21 years in him. God, really.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I would like that. I think they should just like, the only real misstep Marvel had, I think, with an experimental director was the Eternals. I think the movie was not as bad as everybody said it was, but she was the wrong director to bring into Marvel. She was more of like an artsy director. Made a movie that completely doesn't fit into the grand scheme of things, which is fine. Fair. Still not a bad, terrible movie. It's just, you know, whatever. Yeah. I think this could work, though. I like George Miller, obviously.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. Fubo TV was suing Disney, Warner Brothers, and Fox, obviously, Disney, Fox, and WB, because they were putting together, Venue, their streaming platform for sports. And a judge put one of those locks on it. I forget what it's called. Judicial terms. Anywho, Fubo TV won because Disney decided to announce they would merge Hulu Plus' live TV department with Fubo if they would drop their court case. So they did. So now Fubo TV is not suing, saying that it's going to be antitrust. They're just merging with, and that's not antitrust at all.
Because free market capitalism, because you could bring your fucking donkey and cart to my house and with some fucking bread and fucking flour for me.
It's funny that we were talking about that, because this story is like, yeah, we are suing them because it's anti-competitive, antitrust. Oh, they're going to buy us and we're going to merge with them now. Okay, we won't sue them anymore. That's okay. We can become part of the bigger company. Mm-hmm. That's not anti-competitive at all, which is funny. But
of course not.
Dude, it's so funny. But this real quick, just the naming of these. Have you seen? There's like this meme going around. I'll put it in the chat.
I think I saw it. Yeah,
it's on Twitter. Funny, dude. Look at this shit. Like the names are getting out of. They're just running out of names. They just don't know what to name these services anymore.
Have you seen the new show? It's on Tubu. Yeah. It's literally on Hebe. It's on Pootie with ads. It's literally on Dippy.
Pootie.
Yeah, that shit was funny. I saw this.
We know.
So funny, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. But this merger, it's gonna make Disney and Fubo the second biggest internet pay TV company in North America, behind YouTube TV, with around $6 billion in revenue and 6.2 million in subscribers. So, yeah, another internet TV company that you can cut cables with and spend $100 a month getting their advertisements.
And Fubo was sports, or
Fubo TV was live TV, but they focused on sports. But they were suing because Disney, Fox, and Warner Brothers were coming together to create Venue, a new streaming platform, which would have been exclusively, I think, sports, and they would have been left out. So they sued, and a judge put an injunction. That's the word I was looking for. A judge put an injunction out. And so Disney decided to merge with Fubo, and the lawsuit has been dropped. So yeah, that's where we're at with that.
That's one way to get in on the fucking getting in, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, nah, y'all gonna make a deal on them? No. I'm suing you, and you're gonna have to make a deal with me instead. That's kind of smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got a little Constantine news as well.
Let's
Akiva Goldsman. Akiva Goldsman signed a deal to bring Weed Road Production, his company, to WB.
Did you go down?
Yeah, he previously had a deal at MGM. MGM, yeah. MGM, we know, they're with Amazon now. So yeah, he's doing a deal. This is via Deadline, doing a deal with WB. And this is what he said. He did an interview with Deadline. We're starting with 2 projects that are fun and very much Warner's, the sequel to I Am Legend with Will and Michael B. Jordan, and the sequel to Constantine with Keanu Reeves, that Francis Lawrence is going to direct. So I'm coming out of the gate fast. We're doing it with J.J. Abrams. And Francis and Keanu and I have been pretty deep in the story breaking stage. So, yeah, we got director J.J. Abrams is going to be on board. We knew most of this. He goes on to say the character is very much Keanu and the way he and Francis saw the world of good and evil and the wonderful and authentic noir where there is a world behind the world of good and evil and they coexist right up close. But he said beyond that, we're still discovering it as I am writing the script. So, yeah, script's being written. Keanu is very much involved. J.J. Abrams. We got all the names attached. So, yeah.
So they're working on an I Am Legend sequel too? Is that what that says?
Yes, and apparently this is getting a little bit of controversy because there was a very spoiler alert, by the way, if you haven't seen I Am Legend circa 2005.
Oh my God, yeah.
There's a very very little scene, an alternate ending to the movie that they're going to use. They're not going to use the actual ending that was in the movie. They're going to decanonize all that and use an alternate ending that almost nobody has ever seen to create the second one. So the sequel is going to be based on an alternate ending that nobody's seen. And
so
people
the
are upset
alternate
about
ending,
that.
I think I've seen this. Is it where I can't actually remember this now. Because in the actual movie ending, it's implied that he dies, or we see him actually die, or there's an explosion, right? There's a bomb or something. Is that?
Yeah, he takes himself and them out to try and wipe out the plague to ensure that if there's anybody else that they can't get sick or something like that. I think it was
the little girl.
Whereas, yeah,
I remember the little girl that was the one that was like immune or whatever. Doesn't he put her in like this like bomb-proof thing, and then there's like an explosion? Like that's the original ending, right?
I don't even remember that movie, really, to be honest.
Yeah.
I remember the ending, kind of.
Does that sound familiar? Like
I think in the alternate, he like trains them to start going out and going on missions or something for him to try and find something. That, I don't.
That's fire.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah,
we'll see. I don't know. I think it'll be good.
So JJ is a part of Constantine or I Am Legend?
Yes, Constantine.
What's he doing?
I have no idea. Probably producing or executive producing.
JJ's a little bit of a hack. I hate to break it to everybody. Ooh. So that's a little worrying.
Maybe some explosions and whatnot. I don't know. Let's see.
JJ.
He's just a hack. He's a man who loves Hollywood. He loves film. He loves those things so much that he just likes to recreate them. Like fair. He was given the Star Wars franchise to bring it to a new audience and to revive the franchise, and his best effort was to just basically remake the original Star Wars.
Oh, he's the guy. Okay.
Yeah. It's not just that. He's a little hacky. It's But listen, oh my God. Is this real?
No. Got to be fan made.
Oh yeah, it's fan made. Okay, I just saw a poster for those of you who are watching and have no context. I'm on Twitter while we're talking, and I saw this, and I was like, "Oh fuck, this actually looks cool."
Yeah, it does.
Can't wait for that fucking movie.
Well, we got one more little piece of information for the segue. This is a funny one. It's about piracy because we've hinted a little bit about it, but we talked about Crunchyroll and how Sony took it over and how they said anime is for kids and it's not going anywhere, and they've kind of crippled. Crunchyroll was a piracy site that went legit, and then Sony bought it, and now they're not taking anime very serious. Well, Hi Anime has passed Disney Plus in monthly visits.
Oh yeah,
which Hi Anime is the #1 piracy place for anime online. So if you want to watch your Code Guys or your Bleach or Naruto or fucking Avatar or whatever, you go to that place and you sign up or whatever. But they've got more visits than Disney Plus right now. So the piracy, people are sailing the seas. Yeah.
This piracy site is clean.
This is fucking phenomenal.
I mean, this is I wonder if they're gonna go the way of Crunchyroll and just like go legit and be like, okay, we have to start charging you guys to subscribe, or we're gonna get sued in oblivion. But it really depends on who runs the servers and where the servers are run out of.
Yeah, it might be in fucking
International law.
Bangladesh, like just chilling.
Yeah. Hard to say.
This is no.
That
Have
one
you looked at this
server in North
website? The
Korea.
UI is like insane. It's like really.
I'm
good.
sure it's pretty good. Yeah, I have not looked at it, but
That's the difference nowadays. Like,
yeah,
People-
the UX experience.
yeah, it's like a thing now. Like back, maybe a decade ago, like it was always like fucking terrible ads everywhere and annoying as fuck.
The fucking
Now a lot of
gambling.
these piracy websites.
They were starting
If you
to
think about like
advance.
if you think about like Cody and stuff,
Hey.
like the experience is a lot. I don't
Yeah,
know. I
come
don't know
on,
what they're gonna
man.
do about this.
Did you guys? I got a little piece of news. It's not real. I mean, did you guys get a chance to read this Vulture article that is
Mhm.
currently paywalled?
Just go to
Vulture
archive.is.
archive.
Ooh,
Get a copy of the link.
that's the thing to do.
Oh, I gotta. That's the.
Put it
That's the thing. to
put it
do
in the
right
bottom.
there.
Put it in the bottom. Put it in the bottom. Yeah. Search.
Oh, snapshot.
And then click on the link on the
Oh.
right, the blue link. Yeah.
We're in
there
the
you go.
Matrix.
Just click on that link. Yeah.
Marvin's
There you go.
commentaries. Oh fuck! Oh, not to be racist, but you're like the stereotypical like black dude in a movie who's like, "Oh fuck! Oh shit! Don't go in there." That is so
Oh,
funny.
This is where you archive the internet, and they have archive articles sometimes that are
I'm
paywall that you
bookmarking
can
this
look at.
one.
Yeah, I was just gonna do that. Gotta fucking.
one.
God.
Yeah, you guys never watched
I will
those
not be
those
paywall.
YouTube shorts or TikToks of like powerful internet websites? There's a guy that does them, like he'll do like 5 a day.
Dude, my hockey
Yeah.
fucking shit is paywalled all the time now from the New York Post. It pisses me off. They just,
Not anymore.
not anymore, baby. So anyhow, Neil Gaiman apparently is a fucking outright just absolute demon.
What?
Yeah, do you guys remember last year around, I can't remember how long ago, but it came out that like he had been Me Too'd kind of.
I recall.
Mumblings of lawsuits and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, yeah, this shit is actually hilarious. No, not hilarious in a good, hilarious in a bad way. The dude is an absolute fucking deviant, complete
Oh,
demon.
God.
Multiple rapes and sexual assaults, apparently.
What?
Yeah, really unfortunate because he's made some bangers.
Great
but
storyteller, terrible human being is what you're saying.
yeah, yep.
So I can't watch Sandman season 2.
Well, I mean, you gotta. That's a judgment that everybody has to make for themselves. I, for one, am okay with separating the art from the artist personally, but I ain't gonna stop listening to
It
Michael
depends.
Jackson if he was a weirdo. Like,
Yeah, it depends on the art and the artist
Yeah,
and
but-
what they did.
yeah, I mean, if the
guess.
art is like outright like part of their like monstrosity, then no, I wouldn't. But, like, I ain't
Yeah.
gonna read Mein Kampf. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, not that that's art. That's more of like
Trump's in office. Everything's back on. We're back on.
We're back, baby.
That's it. All around piece of shit. Everybody just fuck everybody over. Let's
yeah,
go.
but you got to read this
America's
when you get a
back.
chance.
Okay.
He said, is a quote from this article. Actually, I'm not even gonna read this on the
Yeah,
podcast.
let's not. Fuck it.
Yeah, but
Jesus.
absolute fucking monstrous person. Yeah. All right. So what else you got for us, Dusty?
Well, I got the last piece of news here. Hugh Grant sat down with
Our boy.
Variety, I
Mm.
guess.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And talked a little bit. This is a pretty good interview if you get a chance. He interviews a lot like Harrison Ford, and I love Harrison Ford interviews. He comes across as grumpy and crass, and he's got that reputation. But anywho, he talks about rom-coms and appreciating the quality story and production, and how rom-coms by committee don't work. Basically saying everything we've said. If you get a crew together and just try and do something by algorithm or committee or AI, it's not good. You need a good story. He talks about how directors who are warm people have made some of the best ones because he cut his teeth in rom-coms. Marvin, not sure if you know this.
Oh, I didn't know that. What was it?
But yeah,
Oh,
he
a lot
talks
of
about how
firsts.
the freshness is about delivery and this stuff because I think the interviewer asked him, it's rom-coms, you know, it's going to be romantic. You kind of know the ending. How do you keep people entertained? And he's like, I don't see it as any other different as anybody else. And he did it. He made a comparison to Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. He's like, you know, Tom Cruise isn't in danger, but you still kind of maybe get a little anxious or nervous when he's hanging off the side of a helicopter. The same thing goes for rom-coms. You just, you know, it's all about the delivery and the storytelling, which is, you know, apropos for what we've been talking about this whole time. But he went on to say, what's most difficult about comedies? It's a miserable process, he says. You've probably been on a comedy film set and there's no laughter. You're doing it in a vacuum. And if you're very lucky, you might hear a stifled snort from somewhere sitting near the monitor. And that's gold to you. And I can understand how that might be kind of troubling. I mean, you watch the outtakes and you see people laughing and shit, but most of the time it's quiet on the set. Shut the fuck up, deliver the lines. So you don't know if it's going to be funny after the fact. And I could see how that would be miserable.
Yeah, that sounds awful. I just looked up some of these older.
He's been in a lot of rom-com. Notting Hill.
Bro, he was kind of looking like Bobby P a little bit as a youngster.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
yeah.
Well, he said in the interview he's not doing as much because he's getting a little long in the tooth. You know, when he started off doing the rom-coms, he was working with Michael Curtis or something like that. I forget his name, but yeah. 4 Weddings and a Funeral, stuff like that.
What was I gonna say? Sorry, I'm texting. No, he's like he's a monster. He's a destroyer, this guy. He's been in the business for a really long time. And the movie we're here to talk about today, Heretic, it's kind of a different role for him. So is that all for the news, Dusty?
That is all for the news.
All right.
Nice.
Thank you for delivering it once again. Let's get into this. I got to save this article for later. I'm going to message it to us because I actually want to read the full thing. Yeah, so let's get into it. We're talking about Heretic and stars Hugh Grant. Hugh Grant and Sophie Thatcher and Chloe East and Topher Grace for like 2 seconds.
Yeah. You excited for a new Yellow Jackets, by the way? I got a commercial for it when I was watching sports this weekend. So
I'm interested. I like that show. They tease a little bit too much.
I didn't watch the last season.
I know. I was gonna say you didn't
finish it. Yeah.
I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, she's from Yellow Jackets, but she's very good in that. Yeah, this is about pretty much what happens when unwavering faith meets unyielding malevolence, and Heretic is about a confrontation where 2 young missionaries encounter a man whose charm masks a sinister agenda. And so these 2 girls, Sister Barnes and Sister Paxton, they are part of the Church of Latter-day Saints, which is they're Mormons in Utah, and they go around trying to spread the word of Heavenly Father. And this particular day, they go to the wrong house, and it's Hugh Grant. It's Mr. Reed. But Hugh Grant, so Marvin, we were just talking about like him as a younger man. Like he is like a really charming guy. He just like can't help but be charming.
Yeah.
And he's like the perfect person for this role.
Yeah.
Because for a large part of this movie, I did not feel the girls were in danger at all. Like until it became like apparent like that they were, I was like, oh, he's just trying to teach them a lesson. Like it's no big deal. Like fuck it. So I think that was I think that's indicative of his performance in this, which was phenomenal. But we'll dig a little bit deeper into it as we talk. But this is directed by Scott Beck and Brian Woods. Never heard of these guys before. I think one of them wrote like A Quiet Place or was a writer on A Quiet Place. Not really familiar with them at all. But yeah, let's get into it, Marvin. Start with you. What'd you think?
This movie pissed me off.
Wait,
I'm gonna say that
you
right
watched this
now.
A long time ago, right?
No. I just watched this a couple days ago. Me and C watched it together, actually.
What? Okay, I must be confusing this with something else.
This just recently came to digital, I want to say.
Yeah, but somebody watched it who was like, Dan, you got to watch this. You'll love it.
Mm.
I don't remember who it was.
I
Okay.
haven't seen it. I
Right.
hadn't seen it yet. No, this pissed me off. I mean, really, how can you have such a good trailer and such a strong, let's say, first half and just not be able to finish? Like, it literally suffered from the exact same thing as Long Legs. Great marketing, not as good as marketing as Long Legs, but still good marketing and a good trailer. And then it just cannot finish. They just dropped the ball completely. As soon as they went into the basement, it was just downhill from there. And
Yeah.
they even suffer from the same shit of like, oh, you got so much going on and you don't know how to tell the story that you are just giving us all of this exposition the same exact way as Long Legs. And it's like, dude, this is fucking miserable now. Like,
Yeah.
just way to ruin it completely. Yeah.
Okay. Dusty?
They were a little zealous with the exposition, I feel, so I can kind of see where Marvin's coming from there. And I thought it was good though. I thought Hugh was amazing. This isn't his first villain role. He was great in Operation Fortune with Jason Statham and Aubrey Plaza, where he played Greg, and he's like this unassuming bad guy, and you just kind of like
great.
until he's not.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm the motherfucking bad guy. And you're like, okay, that was fucking awesome, Hugh Grant. Thank you.
He was also, real
ahead.
quick, he was in a show.
Yeah,
with-
The Undoing. I told you about this.
Yeah,
show,
The
didn't I?
Undoing. He was good in that too, and also played like a villain-ish
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
guy. So he plays
I
the
haven't
role well.
seen
I
that
mean,
yet.
but go ahead,
Yeah.
Dusty. I'm sorry. Or Marvin, you were going to make a point.
But yeah, I mean,
No, that's it. Go ahead.
I think the film was set up really good. I feel like you get the introduction of these girls and their day-to-day activities, carrying the bike up and down the hill, what they do, going to houses, trying to get people saved, and you kind of get an idea of like as good character creation and character build up, and then they get to the house and you start to figure out what's going on, but you really don't, because you're not sure. You're gonna be like, is this gonna be like a Saw where he starts locking them up and chaining them up and cutting body parts off, or is this gonna be something completely different?
Yeah.
So there's some really good I want to say thriller aspects and whatnot, but it does feel a little slow at times when it gets to certain points. You're like, okay, come on, we don't need to hear. But it feels like this guy is also a tinkerer, so he's going to be very precise and intricate, even though he did make some mistakes. And she catches on to some of those mistakes, which is pretty cool the way they did that as well. But yeah, no, I thought it was a pretty good movie. I enjoyed it. It was suspenseful until it wasn't, so I'm kind of with Marvin on that.
Dude.
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
but I liked it.
I just the exposition piece, like it was laughable how bad it was. Like, Dan, you don't watch anime, Dustin. I think you watched maybe some anime, but it was like
Yeah.
anime levels of like someone explaining. Like in anime, there's like some time where the anime explains like what they're doing and how they did it, and
Yeah.
it was like that type of exposition. It was like way too in your face. Like it was, I did not like it at all. It was not good.
I agree with Marvin 100%. It felt like identical to Long Legs. It's like they downloaded like a fucking like outline for a script that's like tells you like plot details, and they just filled in their own like story into that
Right.
outline.
Yeah.
Because it has the same beats. It like literally opens the same way in the sense of like, you're given this like setup, and then like you meet the characters and you kind of get this understanding of what's going on, and then the movie completely shifts gears, and then it like they just dump it all on you with zero respect for you as an audience member.
Dude, it's insane.
Um,
Like, oh, you didn't, the key wasn't mine because you fucking put the key in the pocket and snuck out. While like, dude, what is happening?
They
Why are
don't-
you telling all of this? Like, this
Yeah.
is not working.
They-
It's
they
just
don't-
not working.
no, they don't let you like figure out literally anything.
Anything.
Not a thing. And then there's things that the movie like kind of like makes specific points to like show you that never come back into focus, like the dripping from the ceiling with that
I'm
like
like, oh,
water
yeah, what's that?
collector
Yeah.
thing that like spills up. Like they just kept pointing to it,
Mhm.
never once revisited it to be like, hey, well, this is what that was.
Didn't
Um,
deliver anything. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
and honestly, I was really left with the fact that like I don't even understand the fucking point of any of it, really, other than like the final like it was control or whatever the fuck.
Control, and you got
But
fucking.
interesting though, and this is maybe where we deviate. I didn't think of any of these things while I was watching it. It wasn't until after, because I was actually pretty I guess enthralled might be the wrong word. It might be too strong of a word, but I was like pretty like locked in because of the performances, which I thought were like the complete standouts of this movie. Hugh Grant as Mr. Reed fucking just destroyed this movie. Like completely owned this movie, commanded it every second he was on screen, which is the majority of the movie. And honestly, he's like pretty scary of a guy. I don't think the movie was scary at all, but like I said, he disarmed me with his charm. And I'm a little bit of a different audience person because I don't really get scared by this stuff. And I'm also like, I don't believe in any fucking thing. So he's talking. I'm just like, yeah, absolutely. He's right. Yeah, 100%.
Nah. As soon as the wife didn't show up the first time they asked, I was like, nah, this is.
Yeah, no,
not
for
to be
sure.
trusted.
No, absolutely. I mean, the trailer also, I saw this trailer a while back in theaters, and like the scene where she notices the blueberry candle,
The
like
candle.
that
it's
was
in the
good.
trailer. So like,
Yeah.
and also the trailer ends with like that shot of coming out of his like model of his house. So you have
Right.
some sort of understanding of like, this is like a trap that he's intricately set up and all this stuff from the trailer alone. So I knew from the beginning, obviously, he's not a trustworthy individual. I'm just saying, like, the way his acting is great. That he like I see how, combined with the fact that they are there to do a job, that not seeing out in a respectful manner would be considered like sinful to them. Combined with his charm and charisma, how like these girls could like get sort of like, I guess like caught up in his facade. But to be fair, a lot of horror movies do that stuff where the main characters will fall victim to like some stupid shit because they're stupid. That didn't happen in this actually, which I appreciated that. I'm sure Dusty did too, Mr. Drax over there. Like, soon as they got hint that he was weird, they were like, fuck it, we got to get the fuck out of here.
Gotta go, yeah.
But
They couldn't.
but they couldn't. So it's not like they were just like, yeah, sure, we'll fucking come trotting through your weird fucking house with you.
Yeah.
So I appreciated that.
I mean, I agree about like kind of being like fully into the movie just up until that point where it started to kind of fall apart, which was basically right after they introduced the resurrecting lady. Quote, unquote.
Well, I had to rewind a little bit because the scene where she finally gets out of that little like room with all the cages that they're in.
Yeah.
And she goes up through his little like side office thing. She goes back down, and I was like, why the fuck is she going back down? But I hadn't realized that like she had to, because the actual door to the house was closed.
Yeah.
That was like his little side door.
Mm-hmm.
But I like, that's kind of where I like started to like, it lost my attention a little bit. But yeah, it was mainly because of the acting. The acting in this movie is not to be, like I can't praise it enough. Like again, he like goes from being like pretty charming to like dark and sinister, which is like, again, a portrayal from his usual roles, which I really liked. Sophie Thatcher as Sister Barnes, I thought she was really good because she plays like the stronger of the two girls for the majority of the movie. And
that was the dark-haired girl?
They both were dark-haired.
Really? Well, one had like black hair and the other was like,
one had
I guess
brown.
she was the more goth looking one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But she was like the stronger of the two, and she like dealt with some shit, and she came to Philadelphia, and her mother turned to Mormonism after her father died. So like you could already tell her like her faith was a little bit shaky to begin with. And so when it's tested, she's like, she fights back with like, you know, her intellect and stuff like that. And then Chloe East, the Sister Paxton, she's portrays more of like that like timid and nervous person who just at some point decides to like become a completely different human being at the end of the movie, I guess, which was a little bit jarring and bizarre. But regardless, I thought the acting was all like really, really fucking solid.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be the one nitpick I guess I would have about the whole thing.
There it is.
Now that I think about it again. Yeah. So you got these two girls. One seems like pretty devout, like excited about the word of God and wants to save people.
Mm-hmm.
And she's the one that gets handed the blade and is told to kill somebody. And it's like, you realize what you're asking, right? Like this girl that's trying to save people's lives. You're like, when I say the word, you stab him and kill him. Like that's not very believable per se.
Well, listen, when you're confronted with life or death, like you gotta make a decision, and
you gotta improvise. Sure.
I kind of feel like that was the whole point of everything, is to be like, okay, so obviously this movie goes into the complexities of like faith, particularly its power to provide like purpose and resilience, but also its susceptibility to exploitation. And, these young women, they're in a position where their beliefs are tested against this fucking evil dude. And, his whole thing was to like, I guess, prove that religion is fake. This is where I kind of like don't even understand.
That's what I thought originally too. But
more than about it's just about control. I mean,
well, yeah, but
you're giving yourself up to something that you could just give yourself up to anything if that's the point, and that's kind of what the point of what it was. Is he's in control,
yeah,
and he's got these people to follow him. This is like the most extreme version of what a cult would be, I guess. Like somebody that's able to get people like living in freezing conditions in cages, still will get out and do their job, like play the dead woman, eat the blueberry or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he controls all of that.
Though. Like they were doing that, but it didn't make sense why they were so controlled by him. Like if he, like the whole,
because they believed they saw the miracle, I guess. I don't know.
The whole him tricking them didn't make any type of sense as to where they got like into like such levels of subjugation. Like it didn't make any type of sense.
No, it just felt like a way to like, oh wow, this is cool to write. The same with like Long Legs, where it's like, oh, that'd be cool to put that in there. Like let's throw that in. It didn't make a lot of sense. Like, and I was fully on board for the first half of this movie because
me too.
Because like again, I'm an atheist. Okay, I'm listening to this guy. I'm like, yeah.
He's right.
Absolutely. Fuck yeah. Fuck that.
He's cooking.
He's cooking. Let him cook. And then like I was genuinely curious. Obviously, I know he had like a malevolent like goal, but I'm wondering like where it's going. Like they kind of like have a little bit of a mystery building with Sister Barnes, and like you kind of want to know where that goes. But again, none of it really goes anywhere. And then okay, so then when they get into the basement, there's like a brief, interesting little thing where it's like, oh, I witnessed a true miracle. Like this woman has come back to life. Like, and I could tell you that religion is fake, but it is based on like a real truth that was like lost over time. And religion became a means of control. So you're like, okay, well, what's the truth then? Where are we going to get to? We're going to get to the truth. And he's like, and like, again, none of it really goes anywhere.
Yeah.
And so
control was what it was about. I think it was what the point of it was. Just but it makes controlling the population.
But that just doesn't make any sense though. Like, what is his end goal? To like, why is he torturing these? Like, what is the point of all of it? You know what I mean? To just prove to two fucking like peon girls that like,
right?
That religion
he
is
just
fake?
Wanted more fucking slaves. I guess I don't know what his point was.
He's bored. He's bored and he's playing games with humans.
I would have enjoyed this more if his end goal was to like fully break them down and like make them to non-believers. Like
yeah.
If they went through like a series of trials and all this.
Well, the movie has interesting themes, and in fact, more than like structurally, it reminded me a lot of Longlegs, but thematically, it reminded me a lot of Saint Maud. This felt like thematically like a worse Saint Maud. I don't know. Did you end up watching Saint Maud, Marvin? I can't remember.
I did, yeah.
So like that movie is about a devout believer versus somebody who is not.
Yeah.
And the clashing of those two ideologies, and obviously one is like very extreme, right? Where she thinks she's literally talking to God and shit. But like this, or was she? Right? That movie was like,
you didn't get that dynamic though here.
Exactly.
You didn't get it at all.
That movie was brilliantly done, and so those themes are like very, very brilliantly explored. Where here, it's like these people believe in God, he doesn't, clearly. Like, okay,
she's a fake NPC who had her throat cut and then magically comes back to life.
That made
later
no
to save the
sense.
day.
Made no
What
sense.
is he talking about? I was like, I thought this guy was smart. This guy's a fucking nut now.
and honestly, that's a real
just
thing. I
pissed
didn't
me
even
off.
know that is an actual form of
Yes,
birth control.
100%,
No, I had no idea.
Like I said, like Dusty mentioned, like Saw-esque setup with the trap house and all that. Like that would have been a better route. Not like Saw traps, but like I said, like some type of series of them going through like these religious themed
I
something religious themed, like challenges, trials, testing their faith or like breaking their faith or whatever the case. That would have been better than this fake horror
I agree
that we
with
got.
that,
This wasn't even like wasn't even like psychological horror. I don't know what this was.
It was set up as that, like this game of like
choices,
faith versus like philosophy, or faith versus like what does she say? We got to attack him.
Debate
intellectually. Yeah, like intellect versus faith, and not that like faith is intellectual. I mean, it kind of is, but like that was like the thing that they sort of like set up, and they didn't go anywhere with it. So it was like, I don't know. It was just really weird, like how it just kind of fell off the rails. And a little bit upsetting because I really enjoyed the first half of it. And then like for no reason, talking about Saw, there's like that random moment of like gore for no reason that like made me want to jump off a building, like where he grabs her fucking vein.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I was like, ah! It's like that came like out of nowhere. And so, yeah, I don't know. I just didn't really feel like there was any like actual like meaning to this whole thing. Like, I don't think there was any lessons learned by anybody. I don't know what his driving motivation was other than like control. Like, I don't really, there was nothing really to it. And so, yeah, I don't know. I was pretty disappointed. I understand that the movie was, because so the writers, they were inspired to write this movie because they are former Mormons. And I think one of the writers was inspired after his dad passed away of like esophageal cancer, I read. So I get that the movie was trying to like challenge viewers to reflect on their own beliefs and like the strength of our convictions. But like I said, Saint Maud is a movie that does that better, like way, like completely different fucking universe.
You would have been better off sending one of them down the disbelief doorway and the other one down the belief to see the difference in what happens to them, rather than both like going down and one of them dying randomly and then the other one getting real smart and figuring out how to with the guy
out of nowhere. She just became Tony Stark.
She took the fucking pill that what's her name took from Hangover.
Yeah, she took the fucking limitless pill. She got the fucking the equations running through her head. Like she literally became Tony Stark. She's like Jarvis, fucking swiped her watch.
Dude, I'm telling you, like I hope I could. I'm gonna try to find like an anime villain, like
she was
telling his entire plot land, and you go like, oh my gosh, that literally is the exact same thing.
I don't believe you. There would have to be another way out of this room, unless. And she like looks up, and she's like, it's like fucking secret door, fucking chamber. You just wanted to challenge me to make me believe this. Like, I was like, holy fuck! Like, what is going on here? Like, where did this all come from? Like,
jeez.
It was just weird, yeah. So
it has some good stuff in there.
No, it definitely did. Yeah. Writing. I thought the cinematography was really good.
Is that test that she was talking about where they had like a group of people that were prayed for, and a group of people that weren't prayed for, and they all still had the same outcome. I wonder, is that like a real test or is that just something
probably
yeah. I mean, all the stuff
that's
that he was
interesting to me, like that type of stuff, but it just they didn't go anywhere with it, sadly.
Yeah, I mean, you know, all the stuff that he was talking about was true. Like the story of Jesus is
100%.
Just a complete plagiarism of way older stories. So it's like there's a lot of interesting themes in this movie that you could walk away from, but the movie doesn't really do them any justice. So yeah, so that was interesting. And then also the other thing that I kind of like clocked, I don't think it really matters in the long run, but the movie like doesn't explicitly tell you what his belief really is, like if he even has one. But when she's walking through his little like cave of mystery, there are some like satanic symbols on his walls and stuff. And like,
that's what I thought the true religion
that's what I was
gonna
thinking.
be.
I was like, oh, he's a saint.
Oh,
sick.
he
Let's go.
worships Satan. Or something, right?
The Dark Prince, baby.
That
Let's
would have
go.
been more interesting than what we got. Also, what would have been more interesting is if they just leaned more into the actual like supernatural.
Anything. Really.
This chick actually was resurrected, and he did figure out some crazy thing or something.
That's what I originally
that would have been
thought.
more interesting. That's what we got.
I was locked the fuck in when he was like, "No, there's like
oh shit, yeah, he's onto something."
I discovered the true thing that religion is based off of. And I was like, oh, fuck, is this just some like earthly thing? Like some powers of the, like, you know, whatever it might be, alien shit? Is it a Matrix? He starts talking about Matrix shit. He's like, we're in another reality. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe this is like a darker version of the Matrix. That's kind of cool. So, but again, it's just like a lot of like cool stuff that they just like are fucking vomiting onto you. And then they just never really
too much.
Go through it anything.
Same thing with Long Legs, right? How many different plot lines?
Yeah. So I don't understand why they even like, I guess the satanic stuff you see is just because he's like very studied in like all religions. Like clearly he knows his shit. Yeah. So it would stand to reason that he would also study Satanism.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you don't really end up knowing what this guy's belief is. And then, you know, the movie ends in a very ambiguous way. Now, I'm real fucking tired of how ambiguity, especially in horror movies, is used just as like this low effort, like just, all right, wrap it up.
That's it.
What do you think, audience?
It's a cop out.
What do you,
it could be anything.
What do you think? What do you think?
I'm sick of this. It's like weaponized ambiguity. It's enough.
So the way this movie ends is she finally stabs this dude in the neck and he stabs her in the stomach and they're both like kind of dying and he asks her to pray and she's like praying doesn't work and then he like cries on.
You skipped the chick coming back.
Well, no. I was going to get to that. So his final blow is from Sophie Thatcher, who had her throat slashed not too long previously. And
long enough.
And she hits him in the head with this nail thing. Now, I did a little bit of reading. And I don't think that really happened. I think there's two conclusions that a lot of people in the audience came to, that this is actually Sister Paxton's like dying hallucination, because there's a lot of talk about hallucinations when you die, and that's what dying is.
That's true. Yeah.
Like that any person who has died, their telling of what they saw or the afterlife is just your fucking brain firing weirdly as you're dying, right?
Jacob's ladder.
Yep, exactly. So some people say that that's Paxton's dying hallucination of her near-death experience, that like, I guess people say she actually died and that was like her last hallucination, is that she was saved by Sister Barnes. And then I think some other people say,
well, real quick, there's a lot that kind of makes sense, because there's a point where she says when she dies, she wants to come back as a butterfly and land on someone's finger. And then that's what happens.
Well, this is where the ambiguity is fucking stupid and cheap, because you can see it. You can honestly, you could see it in any way. You could see it as she lived. And that was just, if you're a faithful person, you will see this ending as Sister Paxton lives, she escapes, and that is Sister Barnes telling her that she's still with her and that everything's okay.
Right.
Just letting her know that there is an afterlife.
But there was a cut where the butterfly wasn't there, like she imagined.
It's not even
all.
a cut, it just disappears. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They give you, they literally, in the most neatly and cheap, low effort way possible, tell you it could be anything. Whatever you think is what happened. And I hate that.
Yeah.
And I'm sick of that.
Too open-ended. The same
and again, compared,
problem.
They're two vastly different movies of quality and structure. But think of it in Saint Maud, where it's like, The whole movie is training you to be like, what is going on? Is she really talking to God? Is she having these visions? Is she really fucking talking? Like, what's going on? She's just fucking crazy. And and that movie has the balls to stick it through to the very end, where like she fucking lights herself on fire and she sees fucking heaven open up and she's gonna go home, and you're like, wow, she really was fucking talking to God. Nope, smash cut. She's fucking brutally fucking screaming on fire.
Yeah.
And so you just, even by the end of that movie, you don't know what was actually going on. You don't know what the reality was. This was not that. This was just like, do you believe in the afterlife? Then here's an ending for you. Do you believe that she actually died? Here's an ending for you. Like, it's not, it was just so cheap.
It was. Yeah. It was. Who wants to play Landlords or whatever the fuck that game was?
Yeah, the fake Monopoly or the real Monopoly. Yeah, however you think it.
What was it called? What was it?
Something.
I think it was Landlord game, I think.
Something like that.
Yeah, the Landlords game. That's actually crazy. I did not know about that game.
Yeah, this is a movie that unfortunately is like kind of good while you're watching it. It starts to like taper a little bit and you're like, all right, that was whatever. But the more you think about it after the fact, the more like you will not like it. I think that's how I'm feeling anyway. Even talking about it with you, like I already was going to give it a 6, but now talking about it with you guys and sort of like logicking it out, I'm like, nah, this is more like a 5.
Yeah, I was about to say, I know you're not giving it a higher. There's no way.
Nah, the first half was good. I mean, honestly, the first half of this movie,
great.
I would give it like a 7 if it stuck the landing. 7.5 for sure.
No, this Dan hates it, but this first half crazy potential.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sorry.
No, I agree with you.
The setup was there. Yeah.
No, I agree.
The setup was.
No, in this case, I agree.
Nuts.
When you say a bad movie had potential, I'm like, okay, well, everything has potential.
It's like. It's like when you playing a fighting game, you got the combo going, and you just drop it.
You just slip up one little button
like,
slip.
Oh, and then you die. It's like, oh,
yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's a lot
of. It was mostly like all the shit that he talked up and promised. You couldn't believe any of it because you come to find out he's just a fucking liar who plays magic tricks on people. Like,
yeah,
he's like, one of you has the secret that we're gonna find out at the end of the night. Like.
That I was curious about too. I was curious about that too.
One of them's an NPC, maybe.
The flame.
I don't know.
The flame is just
full of shit, so it's hard to say.
No. Dan was like thinking he was on some Matrix shit. As soon as he said that, I was like, nah, this is over.
He's crazy. Yeah, he's just a crazy person.
This guy's he's cooked.
So yeah, I don't know. The movie had some good things. It had a lot of good stuff in it. I thought, like, again, the cinematography was good. The sound design was good. The score was good. The acting was good. And like for the first half, like it really got me. What was like Topher Grace showing up was like so fucking stupid. It was just like to show that like how actually dumb religious people are. You know, to be like, I'd be remiss if I didn't give you this fucking pamphlet. If you want to watch a really good thing about the fucking LDS, watch Under the Banner of Heaven. That shit is fucking good. That's a show with Andrew Garfield, the single season. It's about a real life murder case within the Church of Latter-day Saints in the 80s, I think. Fantastic. Check that out. This, I could take it or leave it. It's got a 7. Do you guys have anything else you wanted to talk about it, or are we good to give our ratings?
No, I'm good.
Let's do it.
Okay. Well, it's got a 7.0 on IMDb. I can't be that favorable. I have to go down to a 5. Why are you laughing?
Yeah, nah, it's real. It's a 5.
Yeah, it's a real 5.
Real 5. Sad.
Yeah.
I give it a 5.5. I don't think it's a 2-point dip. It wasn't terrible.
You know what this movie was like?
It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible. Like, this is a movie I didn't mind having it on. I wasn't fully invested into the movie the entire time I was watching it. I watched the whole thing beginning and end, didn't pause it or stop it, but I did lose interest there towards the end. Like, all right, this isn't over yet.
This to me,
stick to your guns. We don't need
you have
the movie to turn into fucking Beau is Afraid in the middle of the fucking movie. Yeah. Like, that's what we don't need. Just stick it through. A normal movie can be fine, guys. You don't need crazy shit.
You have to have guns to begin with, Marvin.
It had guns. It was fucking fully loaded.
I don't think it did really. I think that
you just said you enjoyed the first half.
No, I did, but what I'm trying to say is that they didn't. have enough meat to the story to like see it through. They had a good concept, but then they threw too much at it. They were like, no. So this to me just felt like if you ever watched a baseball game, it's like bases loaded, 2 outs, fucking guy comes up to bat, cracks a fucking shot, and you're like, oh fuck! But the cameraman on TV was like a little too slow, so they don't show like, and then it's just caught like at the wall, and it's like, all right, well, that was exciting for a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know, folks, what you thought of Heretic. I mean, it had a lot of hype around it. I don't know about hype. It didn't have the same hype as like Long Legs, for sure. Didn't have that side.
Nah, it wasn't.
But people were talking like favorably about it. I was excited to watch it. You know, it's something. If you've watched it, let us know. We're curious what you guys thought about it. Leave a comment down below. Let us know if we missed anything. I'd be curious. But otherwise, that's going to do it for us here, folks. Next week, we're watching another horror movie that might win an Oscar this year. Demi Moore's Golden Globe winner.
Oh yeah, forgot.
Which I'm very excited to watch. The Substance.
I might rewatch it. It's really good. It's I could rewatch that.
Yeah. So join us next week for that. If you want to be up to date with everything we're going to watch, you could check out our Discord. We post our links there. We also post them on Twitter. So if you wanted access to our links, check out our website, harshlanguage.tv. But we will catch you next time, folks. Thank you for listening. Leave a like, do all that cool stuff if you're feeling generous, and we'll catch you then.
See ya.
Rasta.